Hello there, Lily here, and today we're going to go over a tutorial on the Research Assistant interest forms. Right now I'm in the beginning end of quarter checklist and you are a hire. And as you start going through this checklist, you'll notice that the second bullet here says to compile a list of applications from interested RAs who wish to work and volunteer at DICE. And so here I encourage you to watch a YouTube tutorial, and that's what we're doing today. So if you, let's dive right in. So I'm gonna go ahead and open Safari, and let's navigate to the DICE website. So there are two ways that students can express interest in either volunteering or working for the DICE lab. One way of doing that is to send an email to Dr. Rogers. A lot of students contact her directly and say, hey, you know, I'm interested. And then sometimes we get applications through our website from students who have either heard of us or maybe another faculty member asked them to fill out an application. A lot of our graduate students push some students who are interested in working with us to fill out applications on our website. And a lot of times when a student sends Dr. Rogers an email, Dr. Rogers will actually then go ahead and direct the student to, fill the application on our website. So this is sort of like the general area. And so if you hover over to join us, over here we have a little blurb that says, hey, if you're interested, please fill out an application here. So let's go ahead and click on this. And this is the survey that students are directed to. And I call it a survey because it's an application really, but it's powered through Qualtrics, and the interest form is spit out in a survey format. And so students will enter their first name, last name, and just kind of give us information over here about their GPA, and sort of listing reasons why they want this experience. And this is really a very important part. And then students will go ahead and upload their resume. They'll put their email and just any other information, and then they'll submit the application. But really what I want to focus on right now is not so much this piece, but the back end of all of this, right? And so where did this come from? How do you even access this if you want to change a couple of things? And for the purpose of this video, I'm not going to go through the login process just so that confidential information isn't displayed on the screen. But I want to let you know that in order to log into Qualtrics, it is done with, it's powered through, so Qualtrics is powered through, it's a service that Northwestern uses and we're allowed to use for free. And a quick Google search, so I typically do Qualtrics Weinberg Northwestern into Google, and I click the first link, and through there Northwestern will say, hey, we see that you want to get into Qualtrics, go ahead and put in your NetID and your password. Now it's really important that the NetID you put is the lab's NetID and password, not yours, but the lab's. So this form exists under DICE Lab's NetID account. And so once we put in our credentials, here we are. So we have our RA interest form over here. And usually over here, if you have other interest forms, they're listed, but this is the only thing that lives under DICE's NetID account. And so right here, I'm at survey. And you can see here, these are the blocks of questions for students to fill out. And if you want to change anything, you can feel free to play around in Qualtrics and change things as needed. And then what you're going to do is you're going to hover over data and analysis. And this is going to take a second to load, but data and analysis is where all of the data and all of the responses of each survey block or each survey application gets inserted. And so here you can see that I ran one test over here, I did another test, and another. I was running into some issues, so I had to tweak a couple of things before creating this video. But right away you can see the recorded date. So the last time I took the survey was at 3:40. And what is your current standing in school? And I just put Lily testing in all of the areas. And these are just a sample, just sampling 2 questions. But what's really important here is for you to click on the drop down here, view responses, and then you can really see my survey responses, right? So my first name, last name, my current standing in school, Lily. So I just put Lily testing for everything. And then over here, I just uploaded my yoga sequence class, but students would put in their actual resumes over here. And you can go ahead and close that out. But this is just to, you don't have to necessarily do anything here. This is just to sort of give you an idea of where the survey is located, how you can access the survey, which NetID to use in order to really get to this form. Now, the cool thing about Qualtrics is that I've made the survey. So if you go back to survey here, tools, triggers, email trigger, it says send RA interest forms to thedicelab@gmail.com. And so what happens is the minute somebody submits an application, an email gets sent to the DICE email. And so here you can see that we have 2 surveys, right? Because I submitted a couple. But these are my responses right here. And so it's important to note that this is one survey and this is another survey, but we can just go ahead and focus on this top one right here. But just exactly as the student filled it out, you can see the same information right here. So first and last name, current standing in school, major and minor, cumulative GPA, quarter GPA, reasons for seeking this experience. So I want to talk a little bit about this. And so when you are at this stage, when you're compiling a list of applications, what's really important is to really review this section here, right? So reasons as to why a student is seeking experience. So if someone literally answered, I'm seeking experience because I'm interested, it's not really a compelling or juicy answer, right? And so students generally really take the time here to tell us exactly why they're seeking experience, and we're able to sort of interview based on their reasoning. And then over here, if you click on this link, it will download their application. So for me, it's my yoga sequence, which we won't look at, but the document gets inserted here. And so when you're in this process, it's really important that you print the actual resume, that you print the reason that the student is seeking interest, highlighting the most relevant and important things that are striking. A lot of students that come through DICE, not a lot of them, but some of them don't have any research experience, right? But some of the reasoning they provide and their general future projections and where they want to go and where they want to take it, those are really just things that we look for in students, and some of their answers are actually quite endearing. And so so once you compile that list, you can bring it to Dr. Rogers, where generally the manager and the faculty can review together. And then you can check in with her sort of on employment status for current and new students. And those are things like doing an independent study, whether we want to increase pay on students, whether we want to sort of promote a volunteer into employment. So those are all things that you can talk about. I hope this video helped. Thank you for watching.